Oh, what's going on, guys? Gamer Dude back once again, bringing you a review of the Suicide Squad game. But before we begin, y'all know the routine, or at least I hope you do by now. If you are new to the channel, please make sure you smash that like button and drop me a subscribe, because it would just be your good deed of the day. Same applies if you are a returning viewer. Now then, what is wrong with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League? In this video, I'm going to discuss everything about the game, why it's so bad, why it's going to fail, and why it was just the absolute worst and a terrible decision on WB and Rocksteady's behalf. Now, the game itself, the story, or lack thereof, should I say, because it's so short. But yeah, the story, okay, it's got some good points. Like, it covers the recap of the Batman Arkham trilogy rather well in a specific segment, which takes you to the Batman Museum. And that's great. I loved it. When I played the closed alpha in December, that was the part that was included. And it was great. I loved it. You know, it had some great callbacks. It recapped the entire series. And it even tells you what happens with Bruce Wayne after that post-credit tease from Arkham Knight. But the trouble is, it doesn't really do it justice. You know, that out of everything in the whole game, this is the best part of it. And it's the only part really worth playing. But it is worth noting that anytime through the game, until you get to that kind of post-apocalyptic future part of it, you can return to the Batman Museum at any time. So, you know, if you get bored or just want a bit of nostalgia, you can always return to the Batman Museum and just recap the events of the Arkham trilogy. But yeah, a game that's supposed to be AAA, because it's on sale at full price, is just so lackluster, so short, and lacking in anything that made the Arkham series what it was, and that was just epic. So yeah, I think, you know, as I said, the whole callback to the end of Arkham Knight and the other Arkham games was fantastic, you know, and telling us what happened with Bruce Wayne after that post-credit tease from Arkham Knight, you know, showing that it was actually Bruce Wayne, that he did fake his death. It wasn't Jason Todd pretending to be Batman as that fear bat. It was actually Bruce Wayne. So that's the only strong point I have out of this entire game. And Doug, you're in for a ride, because this review is going to be absolutely brutal. So yeah, let's continue. Anyway, yeah, the trouble is, it's not actually the developer Rocksteady's fault, and I'm not necessarily saying it's the game's fault either, because it does have its good points at times. Yeah, it's entirely WB's fault. They have come out and specifically said they want all of their future titles to be live service games, which means we'll never get another solo Batman game or any other solo DC superhero game ever again, because they want to go with that whole games as a service thing. And it's completely the wrong way to go about it. I mean, yeah, sure, some live service games might work, but that's because they've already been established as a game as a service and don't have a massive franchise on its shoulders as iconic as the Arkham series. But in this instance, you know, a live service superhero genre game doesn't work. Superhero live service games as a whole don't work. It's like they learned absolutely nothing from Marvel's Avengers, which, by the way, is actually a way better game than Suicide Squad in terms of story. At least Avengers had a decent story element and doesn't force the service stuff on you immediately. Let's also not forget there was a way in Marvel's Avengers to earn microtransaction currency unlike Suicide Squad. So, although Avengers failed and was delisted, it's actually the superior game if you think about it. Because at least in that game, if the servers are eventually shut down, you can still play the story and endgame content by yourself. Unlike Suicide Squad, which always requires an online connection just to load in. So, if its servers are ever shut down or go down, like they did for the early access people who paid £100 for it, sorry guys, then that's it for the game entirely. It's just going to collect dust on your shelf and you can't get rid of it, you can't sell it on, you can't give it to anybody because you can't access it anymore. But yeah, by now, you guys should know my play style. You should know I absolutely loathe live service games. Yeah, boy, Gamer Dude hates them with a passion. Honestly, though, I think Rocksteady was forced to shat on the legacy of the entire Arkham series with this game thanks to WB. I mean, come on. The whole story can be finished in 10 hours. 10 freaking hours. That's just laughable and hardly worth full AAA price. And why this game took 9 years to develop is completely beyond me. I mean, yes, I'm aware of all the issues during development and the fact in 2022, two of Rocksteady's lead developers actually left the studio while Suicide Squad was still in development. Kind of as a red flag in of itself. But yeah, it still escapes me as to how this became the finished product. The best way to describe it is, do you remember that post-credit scene from the Deadpool movie where he's time traveling and runs into Ryan Reynolds with the Green Lantern script, and Ryan goes, "That's fucking perfect," and then Deadpool just shoots him in the face? Yeah, that is Suicide Squad. That is what I want to do to Rocksteady right now. It's like they came out with this finished product and went, "That's fucking perfect." And yeah, the players would disagree with you. I mean, it's just trash. But yeah, that post-credit scene from Deadpool is like the best way to describe it. Anyway, my point is, they could have easily just made a Justice League game, wherein which the Justice League does die eventually through various missions in the story, which would have at least given the characters a better send-off than what they got from this game. And even if they did that Justice League game I just mentioned as a service game, it opens up the potential for more Justice League characters. And in the end, even if they're killed off, because it's a service game, there's ways to bring them back. There's different versions or different variants of these characters. Just like this game's going to be doing in its seasons, they're going to be doing Elseworlds. I just think a Justice League premise would have worked better than the Suicide Squad. Instead of the Suicide Squad killing the Justice League, which is just completely impractical in of itself, they could have just made the Justice League game and have the characters die in specific missions. So you've still got the team of 4, fair play, but in one mission, say Flash dies, and then you're down to 3. In another mission, Superman dies, and then you're down to 2, and so on, and vice versa. You get what I'm saying there. But I just feel like the characters got a real disservice, especially Batman. I mean, have you guys seen the spoilers of what happens to Batman? He just, oh my god. I mean, even the Joker in the first 2 Arkham games, and all the villains teaming up in Arkham Knight couldn't stop Batman. And in the end, he's taken out by the Suicide Squad and killed by Harley Quinn, who's arguably a B-list sidekick villain at the best of times. Without the Joker, she is just a B-list villain. I mean, I had zero hopes for this game from the moment it was announced, and it just kept getting worse and worse the more they gave us for it, which, quite honestly, wasn't that much. Yeah, but when they announced it always needed an online connection to play, that put me off. Because again, At least with the Avengers, you can play the story and endgame content offline. And then they announced there was going to be a battle pass and, of course, live service, which were red flags and just put me off the entire game immediately. It's just a complete disservice to everything these iconic characters stand for and everything the Arkham series was built around. Hell, the game only gave us one character with actual superpowers, which are subpar at best, and that's King Shark, while the rest use tech-based abilities. So, realistically, even brainwashed, the Justice League should have obliterated them. Like, example, Flash could have just snapped all the necks without even breaking a sweat. And if they got lucky enough to take down the Flash, Superman's heat vision would certainly have finished them off. It's just astonishing that the Suicide Squad comes out of this game completely unscathed. You know, by the ending cutscene, it doesn't even appear like they've got any cuts or bruises or broken bones, which is just completely astounding. Because even in that animated movie, Justice League Apocalypse War, the Suicide Squad all died while the Justice League was under Darkseid's control. It took another Justice League member, John Constantine, to break that control. And, you know, they could have just done that. You know, adapted that somehow, but no, they chose the Suicide Squad. It just shats on the entire legacy. But yeah, now we move on to the announced endgame stuff, which would feature seasons. And that's just overconfidence, in my opinion, at this point. You know, they also said we're going to get these Elseworld characters, which essentially just shats on the Arkham series even more, and makes the entire story of Suicide Squad absolutely redundant, because you'll be fighting more Brainiacs and doppelgangers of the Justice League you literally just killed. Then, the nail in the coffin, the first extra character they announce isn't someone like Enchantress or Peacemaker like you'd expect. It's a campy, woke alternate version of the Joker, which is just laughable. Yes, I heard myself say it, I said it, I went there, deal with it. But yeah, let's get this straight. Arkham Knight is a near 10-year-old game now, which looks, plays, and feels way better than this garbage. And it still holds over today. Whereas in 9 years' time, people are going to be like, Suicide Squad had a game? As opposed to the Arkham series where they're like, oh yeah, that was so awesome, I still play that today. You know, it's going to be one of those games. So yeah, I'm actually kind of glad I played the closed alpha in December, so it could assert my decision to never play this absolute failure of a game. Although, saying that, I may someday get it just because it is Kevin Conroy's final performance as Batman. Because I always said he was Vengeance, he was the Knight, he was my Batman. And yeah, the game may be absolute trash, but I would love to just play the story to see those dialogue lines from Kevin Conroy, to see that version of Batman, even though he is evil. But yeah, I hate to say it, for that to happen though, the game would have to drop down to a seriously low price, be made free to play, or go onto PlayStation Plus as one of their monthly free games. Rant over, mic drop. Yeah, I told you I was going to be brutal with this. I know it's not as brutal as some other YouTubers have been, but seriously, this game, do not waste your money with it. I mean, admittedly, I did go into town the other day just to see, you know, what price it was, because I heard it had dropped down in price in the UK before launch. I went into town to see, and I was asking the store clerk about the game, and he said they were sold out. And I was actually quite surprised. because a lot of people have seen the gameplay, seen the leaks, and been like, "Oh no, I don't want it. It's crap." I mean, because in my opinion, the game is it's Fortnite, Gotham Knights, and Marvel's Avengers meshed together. It's like they went, "Yes, that's perfect. Let's do that. Let's put these three games together." But yeah, in all honesty, though, visually the game looks it looks great. The city of Metropolis looks brilliant. It's got a very vibrant color palette. The character models and facial expressions look okay. I wouldn't say they're brilliant, but they're still okay. But other than that, there are really no high points to this game. There's really nothing I can say to you to sell it to you because I don't want it myself. And again, the only reason I want it is for Kevin Conroy. And I really think WB and Rocksteady thought that was going to sell this game because they slapped the Arkham series legacy onto it and put Kevin Conroy's Batman in it. I really think they thought that was gonna sell the game to people. That was gonna bring people around to it. That was gonna make people want to play it. That was gonna make people want it. And maybe because Kevin Conroy was in it, people wouldn't be bothered about the whole live service issue. And I am just spitballing here, but I'm guessing obviously they didn't know Kevin Conroy was going to sadly pass away, so they were probably going to ask him to come back and voice Batman again for some of this Elseworld stuff that they've got planned. But with it being Elseworlds, I guess they can just bring someone else in as a different Batman. But still, they shouldn't have slapped the Arkham logo on it as a selling point. It could have just been a standalone thing, being its own thing. Kevin Conroy could have still voiced Batman and nobody would have been the wiser. They didn't have to put the Arkham logo into it. They didn't have to attach it to that legacy because that legacy is now it's dead, in my opinion. This game kills that legacy. And, if first-time players are going to be playing this for the first time and introduced to this from the Arkham legacy, they're not really going to want to play the Arkham games after this because they're going to be like, well, is it the same? Is it going to be anything like it? I mean, yeah, I'm just speaking metaphorically for that, as a new player, like a new gamer coming onto the scene, is what I'm saying. But yeah, anyway, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Did you purchase the game? Did you purchase the 100 quid edition to get the early access and realize that you couldn't play it at all because the servers were down, which is going to be a big plaguing issue for this game if you buy it, by the way. The servers will keep going down whilst you're in a mission. Happened in the closed alpha. The servers went down several times while I was playing, and it forced me to redo the entire mission all over again. That happened 5 times in a row until I eventually just closed the game and never touched it again. But yeah, anyway, do let me know what you guys think about the game. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. Have a little discussion about it. Let me know. Do you think I'm completely wrong? Do you think I'm completely right? Or do you think I'm talking out of my arse and should just shut up? But yeah, that's it for the video then. So I want to thank you all for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Stay tuned for more content from yours truly. We've got some more live streams coming up. Star Trek Resurgence, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Spider-Man 2 New Game Plus when that launches eventually, and plenty more. So yeah, that being said then, this has been Gamer Dude. Happy gaming. And I will catch you all in the next one, guys.